Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the European continent, same thing. We've got some ETF2L tonight. I'm Ro from North America. Joining me is Ombrack. You may remember us from such a great duo as I-61, and once again, we've been reunited for some ETF2L action. Ombrack, introduce Gemm.
Gemm is our producer tonight. He's really good. You may also know him as handsome producer, Gemm, and he's gonna be your cameraman tonight. And it's gonna be nutty because there's gonna be busts all over the maps. I hope you're ready. Get your eyes wide open because there's gonna be some crazy action going on.
Specifically at the choke, because tonight we've got the choke Bustaz versus previous champions within the last 2 seasons, Lowpander. Unless I'm thinking of Lego.
None of them won anything.
Okay, well, I need to really brush up on my ETF2L because I am very foreign to this league.
But yeah, Lowpander is one of the better team this season. They were like third last season, arguably one of the best team this season. So yeah, this is good. They're a good team. And on the other side of the ring, we have the Bustaz sitting comfortably at the bottom of the league with a fat 0 point. So on paper, this is really unbalanced. But I'm confident something is gonna happen tonight.
That it will. I think we also have actually to help out those people out there who are like me and know very little about what's happening. We actually have some overlays, some reports of these teams and some facts we can talk about. So as soon as I see them on the screen, we can get cracking on that stuff, Ombrack.
Ooh, and I see stuff going on. One precision before we start. Martin is gonna showing up on the graphs and all, but he's not gonna play tonight. I think he has some internet issues, and Menti from Whiptail Tactics is gonna play medic for Lowpander.
Oh, all right. A little bit of Menti action. I think he was in my cast last week.
Drop action. Sorry, go on.
I'll be seeing the return of Menti in place of Martin, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So yeah, there we go. So players are loading up. If you're not familiar with it already, this week is Viaduct, aka Product, and then shortly after is Snakewater.
Yeah. So on stats, we can see numbers go in favor of Lowpander most of the time. Let's say Dutch Bustaz have played arguably two of the best 3 teams in the league so far. They've played Swift and they played Lego. They had decent game versus Swift. They almost managed to get a golden cap going, but they eventually lost. And then versus Lego, that was a lot harder on them. So now they're playing the 3rd best team in the league. So that's quite of a rough start. I don't know. I feel like they can maybe do something. Product is such a weird map. Like numbers don't mean anything on Product. Like if somehow you can surprise your opponent, they can do great on this. So yes, Lowpander will probably win this one, but I don't know. Again, I feel there's something in the air tonight.
Ooh, there's something in the air tonight, and I agree. When it comes to a map like Viaduct, we're delving into the side of TF2 that's less about, standards and playing it by the book. Viaduct has a lot of tactical, I want to say, flexibility. There's a lot you can do to grab the point and play that game because the focus is completely on the point. That's pretty obvious with King of the Hill. But it's less about what you would expect in a 5CP and its own kind of game mode, I would say. Especially with a map as tight as Viaduct, with a lot of openings for big bombs and 4-man sacks. Sniper is going to be a factor in this, I think, especially with Mookie available. Probably some Spy as well.
Yeah, the sniper for Lowpander is mostly Mon, Mr. Epic on Product, but I'm gonna give you some context, some interesting information. Bustaz had the warm-up versus some kind of Ascent Swift mix on Product. Chris played Sniper, and to say the least. He went completely crazy. He got 15k damage. He played sniper for 30 minutes and hit 36 headshots. So I'm expecting Chris to play sniper a bit at least, and to hit some crazy heads. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on him. And now we have the demo duel on screen. If you want to talk about it, Ro.
I can't see anything on the thingy, so I can't talk about anything.
Okay,
I'm just in the dark.
The numbers are obviously in favor of Hildreth. Again,
Yeah, for sure.
Radslayer had a tough game versus Swift and Lego tough opponent, so far the numbers are in favor of Hildreth. We can see that Hildreth actually has the best KD ratio of all the demomen in Prem. He has the best. That's I wasn't expecting that, considering Ali is playing Prem as well, and he hasn't lost a single game. But yeah, apparently Hildreth can handle himself, and wow, I wasn't actually expecting that. So props to Hildreth.
Yeah, very good stuff here, and that's going to be a big thing. A lot of people may or may not remember the demo nerf that feels so long ago, where all the damage got removed, there was damage fall off, and timing is determining how much damage the stickies do, and so demo really fell off the golden throne in terms of playing Viaduct. But after some revamps with whatever happened 2 or 3 years ago, and demo kind of made a little bit of a damage buff back, not to where it was, but where it is now. I've been seeing demos doing a lot more work and keeping up those high numbers, especially on Viaduct, which used to be a demo man's playground, and now it's a scout's playground.
And yeah, true. There's not that many demo men who can actually pull out good numbers on product. But what is really interesting is, so Hildreth had the best ratio of all the demo men in Prem, yet he's only 6th demo from damage per minute. So I don't know, he must have some crazy stick efficiency, I don't know, but when he does damage to someone, that someone usually dies. So that's pretty impressive, the way without dealing that much damage, he has a really good impact on the game for his team. So I'm wondering how this is going to translate on product, because Demoman on this map is a lot about area control, and it's a lot about sticky traps on scouts and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play this one, how Hildreth is going to adapt to the map. I think it's really well known that product is like maybe the strongest map for Lowpander, or one of their strongest map. Everyone won't avoid playing them on this one. So they must have some crazy synergy going on this one to have Hildreth not dying and to keep picks on the scout that has such a great threat on this one.
Now, I want to talk about that synergy you just mentioned. They're not playing with their normal medic, unless I'm thinking of Menti joining the other team. Is Menti playing with
He's playing
Lowpander?
with Lowpander, yeah.
Yeah, so with Menti, still a prem medic, still everything going for it. Do you think there might be a little bit of a disconnect, a little chink in the armor due to that?
It's possible, possibly, but again, Martin joined Lowpander quite recently. He joined them this season. Mm-hmm. So I don't. Is this really gonna hurt them? I think their synergy is more about Ubers and Hildreth, and they've been playing together for ages now. So it could hurt them a bit on product, because maybe they have a special way to play the map, and Menti won't be used to that, and will have some weight positioning at least at the start. Considering they haven't warmed up before this one, they're just going this game cold hands, So there will maybe be some issues at the start of the game, but I'm confident enough that Hildreth and Ubers have quite a good grasp on the game, and they will if mistakes there are, they will be able to fix it quite quickly.
Yeah, we do have we do actually have a bit of an issue with the server. Hildreth was calling for we need, in all caps, a new server, so players are now reconnecting here to a new server. We'll be getting everything back on the screen, and hopefully everyone will be joining up, and then we'll be getting underway with this best of 2 ETF2L style. We got product and Snakewater, and yeah. I mean, you've already talked a lot about it already, but where are you feeling it? What's your prediction here for these 2 teams?
I'd say if Bustaz want to take a map, this maybe won't be this one. As even though we said it's crazy map, everything can happen on this one, but I think their chances don't really lie on this map. Maybe on Snakewater, because of Mon is really good on, like, he hits headshots like a crazy sniper. He's really good, like one of the best sniper in the game right now, maybe the best for some. So unless Chris can actually fight back as a sniper, maybe they have a shot on this one. But when Mon plays sniper, Ubers go scouts, and with funds, that like it's a crazy duo. So it's gonna be really tough for Bustaz to do anything on this map, I feel like. And I'm hoping this is not gonna happen, but I'm expecting a roll in favor of Lowpander on this one.
Well, there it is. And for the record, it's not a crazed gunman, it's an assassin.
Ooh, maybe.
Moving forward, we're getting underway here. All 12 players are in the server. A little bit more talk about server complications, complaining.
Oh, I hate Prem players. All of them. All of them.
Ombrack's calling out all of Premier right now. If you're too much of a baby to deal with 50 ping, then wah.
We can see on screen stats between Crafty and Mr. Head-to-head between Crafty and Mr. Epic. Again, numbers in favor of Mon, aka Mr. Epic. More kills, less death, better ratio. Like, everything is going in favor of Mon. And again, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same there, unless there's some crazy tactics going on the Bustaz side. But you know why they maybe will lose this one? Because there's no choke to bust on product. It's just a point. It's just a point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could argue maybe the staircase to connector, maybe main under the shutter. Those are technically chokes. And if they somehow mount a wipe or so many kills that they can forward hold, I mean, practically every entrance from spawn is a choke. There's potential. They can bust.
Oh, and everyone is leaving the server once again. Me no likey.
So once again, we do have a change in server, but one of the last comments before leaving is, can we have default? So
yep, guys, you can
forfeit.
Shut down your computer. This is done. It was a pleasure to chat with you, Ro, and see
I
you
agree,
next
man.
week.
It's been too long. We'll be
what
having
are they doing?
Soon. We'll be fine.
I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I'm expecting a new server quickly enough. It's Prem though. We used to be late, you know. What that wouldn't be a Prem game if we were in time. So we're used to it, you know.
Yeah,
this is classic TF2 Prem night.
Yeah, just every high level of TF2 is not about being on time.
If you want to be on the top in this game, just be late.
You gotta be late. Yeah, exactly.
You're halfway done.
Yeah, hold up scrims for the other players that have scheduled for 9:30 and you guys show up at 9:45. Like, that is what it takes to be the top. As you can see with the open epidemic in ESEA regarding that same issue where players are not arriving on time.
So while
they know what it is. They know that the secret. It's arriving late.
While we're waiting on the server again, we have head-to-head between Papi and Ubers, and whoa, surprising! Ubers is winning this one as well, but he has more death.
What's that surprising?
He has more death than that was irony. I'll teach you later about that.
I'm sorry.
But Ubers has actually quite a lot of death, like 17. Whoa. I don't know. Bit weird. I guess the Lego game where they were down for a long time had quite an impact on Uber's numbers, but other than that, yeah, I feel like every head-to-head will be in favor of Lowpander, and this one is as well. I think Papi is quite trying to play with the Uber style with a lot of banners going on. Some will call it the Lowpander gameplay, and he's using that bug, you know, where you can't hear the banner if you're far enough when you blow it. So yeah, there will probably be some crazy banner actions, maybe not on this map, maybe more on Snakewater, but yeah, Papi and Ubers have like this close play style, like they play, the way they play is really similar, I would say. But I think Ubers has more experience than Papi. He's been playing like that for the longest time. So again, when it comes to pockets, Lowpander as the edge. Even though we're probably gonna see Ubers on scouts on product and not on pocket, so Pappy will have the occasion to boost his numbers.
Yeah, that's right. One thing I have noticed, and I agree with, and I'm totally with you on that, is a lot of players, particularly when it comes to Viaduct week, they tend to make sure they always have those 2 scouts, and they forfeit one of their soldiers, maybe for a sniper, sometimes for a heavy if the timing calls for it. And I think that's been a very interesting aspect of flexibility, fluidness in your player's ability to swap over to a different fragging class as the map sees its need.
Well, Scout is basically the best class in the game, and on product it really shows. So yeah, not surprising to see 2 scouts, whatever the situation is. And when you're playing with a sniper, you're expecting your team, the opponents, to bomb your sniper with their soldiers. So when you have 2 scouts, it's easier to deny the bombings. So again, it makes perfect sense to have 2 scouts on this one. And I don't know if yeah, Chris is playing Roamer on Dutch Bustaz, so they're gonna have 2 scouts all the time. There's not gonna be any class switching from Crafty or Hems, I believe. Even though Crafty can play sniper, I think Chris is handling most of the sniping area. And I heard a good news, guys. We have a connect.
That we do. And actually, I was ready. Like as soon as you mentioned the banners, I wanted to go into this whole bit about let's go back into our time machine before Mr. Slin existed in TF2, and remember the time when Kritzkrieg Viaduct was countered by Battalion's backup. So much so that Battalion's backup got banned, and it's been in obscurity ever since until this previous year, after the big whitelist meeting, whatever you want to call it. And now the banners are back in play.
I feel like they've started already, or did we miss something? Yeah, I believe they didn't wait for us.
Like, yeah, we were an entire minute down on each clock. At the moment, 149 on each. We do see Hildreth in the midpoint, but Chris, the sniper, is peeking forward, trying to get a shot with the Machina reskin. Trying to catch out Menti. Menti is hiding behind the choke. An Uber is forced off from the opposing team. I do believe that is the choke busters forcing off the Uber now. Poppy's committing. He's going behind. He wants to get on top of Mr. Epic and take him out. Keep him away from this. Mr. Epic gets taken down here. Following closely is the scouts, and Hildreth will get that frag, but the rest of the players of the Chokebusters have taken a little bit of mid-control here. Mookie getting on top of Chris here. Chris taking so much damage. He's trying to get out. Med also very low. Daegu could get taken out here. A follow-up bomb goes on China. Mookie wraps around, does pick up Chris, but gets immediately retaliated by Crafty. The cap didn't go off, but the Demo Man Ratslayer is still committed to it. Almost gets taken down there, taking a little bit of heals. This fight is so strong. They're trying to get this cap, and they finally do, but there's still so much action going on at this midpoint.
And Mr. Epic cleaning Ratslayer with a body shot, probably allowing his team to take that point back. And if they cap it, they will have only 1 minute left on the cap time to win this round. We can see Mr. Epic on the China position trying to get a pick onto the enemy team, while Chris is sniping from the cliffside on the ground, trying to get himself a nice view line onto the medic. But Menti is holding behind the rock. It's going to be really hard for Chokebusters to go there. They're gonna have the Uber. They have to trade this one. The Uber is used on Pappy. He's going really deep onto Menti. Uber is used by Menti as well, and Pappy again jumps in the backline, try to get a side onto Mr. Epic. But this time he's been foreseen, and he couldn't get any frag. He has to jump back. And Ratslayer is really weak. He gets down to Sticky from Hildreth, and this is a really nice pick from Hildreth dice as well. This is a mess of a fight. Everyone is dying, and Hems with a nice 2 picks onto Funds, and Hildreth allowing his team to take a position onto the point, and only 10 seconds left for Lowpander to win this first round. This is going to be really hard for the Chokebusters to win this round.
Chris, not knowing that the sniper is rotated to China, Epic is trying to get some shots in. A lot of players are cowering in fear, and we do see that Mookie spy getting into position here from main. Daegu's turning around. He's fully aware of it. He doesn't have time to turn around now. He does at the last possible moment. But that distraction was enough to get Hildreth some room here, but he gets piped down by Ratslayer. So very good awareness to slow down the enemy team, playing that denial area, and he picks up Ubers as another consolation prize. Mr. Epic here trying to take a fully charged shot from the cliffside base. Doesn't quite connect on anyone, but
Really nice play from Rusley. He got both funds, Ubers and Ildrith. So now the time is ticking down for Dutch Bustaz as well. So Chris is in position. He's trying to get maybe a body shot onto Menti, but I think Lowpander is trying to maybe get some time on the cap. Yeah, look at this Ubers and fund on the cap not being contested, finally being contested. And Muki got in the backline going Chris and Rusley does as well. This is going really dire for Dutch Bustaz. Now Ubers hasn't been used by Menti, finally using this charge, probably to cap the point. Nice spark from Ildrith onto Pappy, and that should be around. Only Crafty is up from Dutch Bustaz.
And that cap might be all that she wrote, because by the time Ratslayer and Chris can get into position here, they're jumping in, getting a little bit of time here. Good initiation by Chris, but that's not going to be enough for his scout to follow up. And that's going to be the first round. A little bit of a haphazard start going to Lowpander.
So obviously we don't know who got the first mid. This is pretty much what's going to happen on the side. Moni is going to play sniper a lot. They're going to play around it a lot, and the Bustaz will be on the back foot most of the time, unless, like Russell did, they can find some crazy picks. That will help them a lot. Chris is on sniper as well, trying to answer Mr. Epic sniping position. Ubers is trying to burst on the left side, but it's gonna get cleaned up by Ems. And Ildrith dies as well to a nice bullet in the head from Chris, and Muki is the next casualty onto Lowpander. Lowpander players have to come back onto their cliff side, and this is gonna be first cap for Dutch Bustaz. Really well played. They had no one bleeding onto Lowpander, and they're 6 up to hold on this position.
Yeah, Chris looking at the cliffside, he does have the potential to get a shot on Mr. Epic as he peeks around the corner. It's so close, he gets the body shot, but actually no, not even any damage off. And now the follow-up off from Muki, timed right after the headshot, is able to take down Chris and get the force on the medic. So Daegu is at very low health, milked as much as he could and got forced. We do see Menti might be a little bit overcommitted here as a big aggressive play from Crafty, as well as the Demoman Ratslayer is going to catch out Hildreth, but Menti will get out and keep his Uber.
And it's a full Uber ad for Lowpander. They don't have Ildrith or Mon yet, but they're probably gonna go for it with 2 scouts, and Muki's bombing in as well. All they have to do is try to get Daegu. He's already got 1 rocket from Muki. Muki with a nice frag onto the medic, and Raspberry does as well. These are the 2 picks you want to see when you use the Uber, and now all they have to do is to cap the point. Really clean push from Lowpander. They were only 4 up, but they really good. They really did a good focus target on this push, and they're even gonna have the Uber ad there, because Daegu died and Menti didn't. So they're in the leading seat now, driver's seat.
Yeah, the hot seat as players are getting to position here. Poppy's sitting guarding over that connector, getting eyes on players, throwing some spam rockets, not getting any positions called out for the rest of his team to move forward. Does get some good damage onto Muki here, who's going to be backing up to the area over there, and now Fun's getting sniped by Chris. Is going to be a great initiation here as they work their way forward. They might even be able to take this push completely unabated.
I don't really know what Lowpander is trying to do there. I guess they're trying to bait the Bustaz in so Mon can get some headshots going on, but he didn't got any hits. So now they got a cap. This dies to a combination of a headshot and a sticky, and this is still a close hat for Menti, but yeah. Oh, nice frag again from Mr. Epic. Just after I said he wasn't hitting anything, he got 2 crazy damage onto the sniper, I mean the Demoman, and he secures the cap for his team. This is probably going to be an Uber trade now, and let's see. I'm expecting Pappy to take that Uber, force Menti and drop in the backline, while Muki is playing the spy.
Yeah, it didn't last very long though. He walked right under the feet of Crafty, and Crafty saw it, called it out for his team. Now the super exchange is happening, but somehow Muki still gets the frag onto Chris. Chris was the sniper there, couldn't really pay attention to it, and so that was very well timed by Muki, and he's going in once again, gets taken down by 2 pipes from Ratslayer, and that was actually enough. Oh, nice little pipe there onto Funds. Funds might even get taken down here. Good damage from the rest of the Choke Busters as they managed to retake this cap before anything else happened. They lost Chris, and then they still held on to it. They caught back in, and they took the point.
I feel like Lowpander is trying a bit on the back foot right now. They look like they're a bit vulnerable, and the nice shot from Chris onto Mr. Epic, and Funds died as well. The bomb is going on from Muki. He got the shoulder, market gardener onto Daegu, giving Menti a full Uber ad when Lowpander will try to push. But yeah, apart from that, I feel like Lowpander is trying a bit on the back foot somehow, and I don't really know why. I think I don't know what they are scared of right now.
Yeah, they're playing very passive, trying to play carefully around their sniper, I think is the main thing. Funz is going to clear out the trap on the point, but take a little bit of damage for it. Chris going to get taken down here by Mookie, who is behind. He's going to be meeting up with Hems, doing some good damage to the scouts, but finally gets cleaned up. Hems gets taken down by Mr. Epic, who's still playing on that China. Drops down while the rest of his team is taking damage, or doing the work here. They're just going to pick up a frag onto Poppy. And the cap goes back once again, but a lot of time has been picked up by the choke busters.
And Pappy gave his body
here
to force the river onto Menti, so that was a nice trade from Pappy. And now this is going to be, once again, a good push position for the choke busters. They have 30-40% ads. They can like play a bit cautiously now and bomb in when they have the charge. This is going to be really hard for Lowpander if played correctly by the choke busters.
Chris, once again, taking those pot shots with his Machina. Gonna be getting good damage here. Big follow-up from Mookie, who's getting on top of the sniper. Gonna be pulling him back. Good damage. Can't quite clean it up, though.
Oh, Rustlayer with a nice bomb. He gets Menti with a nice pipe after having a sticky. And look at Degu, is really weak. Maybe get taken down by the rolling pipe. He finally lives. It's so weak, though. It gets cleaned up by Funz with... Who fought with a 3K? That's insane.
He never dies.
Wow, that was a really good play, and look at the choke busters really cleverly. They're delaying the cap time, so they have better spawners than Lowpander.
Yeah, that's part of the little thing I was mentioning earlier about the tactics of King of the Hill. You got to be playing with that spawn advantage. You know, it doesn't matter if they get 4 or 5 more seconds when you have complete control. And Mr. Epic retaliates onto Ratslayer with another headshot of his own. So both of them were getting sniped within the last 2 frags. But Mookie, right on top of the medic, is going to be able to get the damage out for Funz and
Uber's nice follow-up onto Degu, so medic dies, and now Menti's alive with 60% ad. Yeah, and another headshot from Mr. Epic. Maybe he found his vibe and can get some kill streak going on.
Yeah, Chris trying to take a sneaky angle here from lower. Might catch out Mr. Epic here at any moment now. Does manage to pick it up with a nice little body shot. So with no sniper down, they have no fear of standing in the open and getting to the point. The Uber gets forced off though, and they need to get time on cap. There's so many stings in the way, I don't even think they can get on the cap. Both scouts jump right over the rocks and the fence. Get some time on there. They're fighting all over the point here. Both scouts still a little bit of health with them. Crafty gets pistoled out by Ubers though, and it's looking desperate. The last player to fall is Poppy, and Funz with a 5th kill. That'll be the round 2-0 to.
That was a close one. I wasn't expecting the choke busters to be such a threat to Lowpander. I feel like it's because Lowpander is playing, again, kind of passively, and I don't really know why. Maybe... I actually don't get it. Maybe choke busters is playing superbly well and I'm not realizing it, but yeah, I'm asking myself questions right now.
Over here at this mid-fight, we do see both snipers taking positions on the cliff sides. Chris from the base, Mr. Epic on top. No initiation yet. Crafty playing very passively, and really good initiation by Mookie here, getting on top of the scout. Does manage to get the frag there. A little help of Hildreth. Oh, and he gets taken down by Chris there. So now, soldier behind is not a threat. They can work their way forward. They don't have to look behind. They can just work as a unit. But Poppy getting taken down behind is not going to be good for them, as Uber's going to be rotating over to the heels, getting on top of his medic, and regrouping for this push. They might want to stop this cap if they can, but... Ooh, very good job from the coordination of the scouts. And oh, there's the shot from Chris onto Mr. Epic with no sniper down. And a second onto Menti. He takes him down. Very clean shot. He might get followed by both scouts. They're chasing him down. He can't take the shot point blank. Degu's very low on health, but he is going to be able to stay alive thanks to Crafty babysitting him. Big damage onto Ratslayer. Almost getting taken down here. Waiting for his medic here. And the cap will finally, at this mid, go to Lowpander. But huge ad on Degu.
Such a long fight going on this mid, but yeah, you mentioned it, a really good ad for Degu, and Mookie is bombing in, trying to go for Ratslayer, and actually gets the frag. That's a pretty nice pick from Mookie that could delay the push from the choke busters, but maybe they just will burst the choke. Yeah, let's put it that way, not choking. And Pappy and putting some cap time with his cuts onto the point. Chris getting Funz, and they can cap it without even using the charge. It's really well played from the choke busters. Now they can just assert their position onto the point and wait for Lowpander to push at them.
Yeah, Menti's grouping his players up, but he's not quite at Uber. He's only at 60%. So he's just getting a sniper into position on China. He's charging a shot, but might get called out by the opposing sniper. I like this position here. Crafty going to be on top of the soldier, but not actually immediately ready to take him down. So now, Luke's is going to get the frag onto Chris. No sniper to worry about. They force the Uber off as well with a little bit of demo spam, thanks to Hildreth there. They have the Uber now. They're going to be popping it off. Ratslayer getting sniped by Mr. Epic is going to be a great initiation here. They can take the point almost uncontested now. They're chasing as hard as they can, and the rest of the Chokebusters have rushed to their spawn in terror.
Kind of a questionable pop here from Daegu. I don't know if he was in the sideline of Mr. Epic, but I felt like he was quite kind of safe behind the rock, and I don't really know why he used, because then the Uber was really bad for the Chokebusters compared to the one from Menti, and they just had to push back in and get the frag. So well played from Lowpander, baiting out the Uber and then coming back in with a fully buffed scouts. And it looks like the Chokebusters want to take that cap again without using the Uber, only committing the scout onto the cap, and it's working quite well so far for them. Daegu has a 10% Uber ad, I don't think he's aware of that. But Hems and Ratslayer died to the combined shot of funds and Ubers, and this is looking dreadful now for Lowpander. Chris is really weak on the cliff side. He's getting healed by but Funds is stealing. He gets the shot onto Chris. How did he do that? That was insane, and finally gets cleaned up by Crafty. But getting Chris here is quite crucial pick for Lowpander.
And also, with all that stalling done, the decap is starting to take its toll on the point. They almost had it capped, and now they're going to be popping their Uber off after losing one other player. Poppy getting headshot there. They won't get the force on the Venti, and Hildreth is rushing forward. Might be able to juggle Daegu there. Daegu takes a nice little surf and gets away from the fray. But Mr. Epic is still sniping and watching all these angles behind the point. There's so many stickies, a carpet of stickies blocking their way. And Hems is getting antsy here. He's walking forward, spots out the soldier going in for the deep bomb. Onto Chris, going to get 2 shots there. Not going to be able to clean it up, and Chris is going to be surfing on top of the cliff. He's going to be able to get into a better position here to take a snipe, but no, Mr. Epic is still on top of his game. Takes down Daegu with a snipe, and a follow-up bomb onto Venti is going to happen, but Poppy gets piped down. And Chris just waiting and trying to take one more shot onto Mr. Epic, who's playing around the rock.
It's the second Uber in the row that was really bad for the Bustaz. I don't know, they're trying to take trades. Maybe they think they have ad, but I don't know. They're trying to go deep with the charge, but Minty has his the charge of his own, so obviously the fight is going really bad for them because they commit a lot of bodies and health for no reason. And I don't know, I feel like that's the reason they are losing this round so far with a big margin. The Uber is finally used by Menti. Funds is going deep, he gets Daegu, and Ubers gets Crafty as well. No, they only have to retreat onto the point, play the cap time, and wait for the Chokebusters to just collapse on them. But nice job from Ratslayer getting the frag onto Funds, arguably one of the best players of Lowpander on this map, and yeah, he's top scoring for his team.
Ubers, though, going to be walking out to the point, taking him down, and a follow-up sticky is going to also clean up Poppy. The big bomb from Mookie is going to put in so much damage, he can't decide a target, he's got so much to work with. He's got the Market Gardener out, does manage to frag it. But Hems is coming into the fray, and he's not afraid. He's got his pistol out, but it's not going to work. That's going to be the end of it. 3-0. Lowpander with a clean sweep.
Yeah, I think the scoreline is a bit rough on the Chokebusters. I mean, the first 2 rounds were kind of close, but the third one was more dominant for Lowpander, but the first 2 ones were really close. I think there was only 10 seconds remaining for the Chokebusters on both the first 2 rounds, so yeah, that's 3-0 in the end. I wonder why they changed the way they play on the third one. I'm assuming, that, I don't know, but that's just an assumption that they lost the first 2 rounds and they just thought maybe we have to change something to win the third one. But obviously that was a mistake considering the end of it. And I don't know, I felt like if they just kept on playing the way they played in the first 2 rounds, just maybe get a bit less greedy, they could have taken it. And yeah, that change of playstyle with just Uber trades and not Pappy, I think, because the way they won on the first 2 rounds was Pappy jumped in the backlines after the Uber and he forced Lowpander to play back. But there, he never used that Uber to go in the backline, he just used it, and then I think he was barely involved in the Uber anyway, so I don't know, I feel like there's some misread on the situation there, but it's really hard to, like, product is such a, could be a real mayhem where it's really hard to understand what's going on. But I don't know, kind of disappointed, you know, that third round from Chokebusters. I felt like if they had kept on playing their way, they could have maybe make it 2-1 and maybe come back into that game.
For sure. And if we're looking at the stats here, very briefly before we transition over to Snakewater, we see big stats coming in from Mr. Epic and Funds. Mr. Epic doing 20 headshots, as well as Funds picking up 22 frags throughout that match. We saw a lot of times he was just staying alive and picked up 2 or 3 kills every time he was in the fray. Very good stuff from Lowpander to hold on to that victory with having such strong players, like you say. And the frags are just so heavily in favor of Lowpander. They seem to be in control of it whenever they were pushed. They would lose a fight maybe, but come right back into it and try again.
Well, Funds is a crazy gamer when it comes to product. He's arguably one of the best scouts in Europe right now. So yeah, when you have that weapon in Arsenal, that's way easier to play product well. I liked how I don't know. I kind of liked Rutzler's game, even though he died a lot compared to the kills he had. But I felt like he did quite some space for his team, and I felt like if he had more follow up on his damage, it could have been a better outcome for the Bustaz. And we mentioned Menti before the game. Maybe it was like one of the weak links replacing Martin, but look at him, only 3 deaths over the 3 rounds for Menti. So props to him for stepping up and filling the shoes of Martin.
Yeah, I think that really speaks to the coordination and the defensive play of Lowpander to protect their medic. Menti also busting out a few surfs of his own. He was really on point, I think, with the communication there. That's the key to staying alive as medic, I think.
So yeah, pretty much what we expected. Lowpander to take this first map quite, like, at least according to the scoreline, quite easily. So I don't know what's the game plan for the Bustaz now. This is completely different way of playing the game. This is a CP map, and this is gonna rely a lot on the mids. If they can get the mids going in their favor, if Pappy and Chris can get good bombing going in and have some early leads, I think that they can make it, because Lowpander is a team that likes to, you know, be in the lead, and they're not really a passive team, but they like to be ahead. I mean, everyone likes to be ahead, but when it comes to Lowpander, when they're ahead, they can try their weird playstyle, where sometimes Muki goes by or Heavy or stuff like that. So yeah, this is going to be a hard safe to break for the Bustaz, but I feel like if they have really good mids, really strong mids, they can like convert them into rounds quickly and take a lead. If they go 1-0 or 2-0 quite quickly, I'm pretty sure they can upset on this one.
Yeah, I think one of the main things I want to ask you right now is, okay, so like you said earlier, Lowpander, they're on top of their game when it comes to product, right? So if you're the Bustaz, if you're coming into this one, do you think you have better chance? Do you think you have what it takes?
Yeah, obviously. And Lowpander is in a team that screams that much. Again, they haven't warmed up before this one, so maybe they can have some surprise factor going on and trying to have set plays working in their favor. I'm talking about Bustaz, so yeah, I'm pretty sure if there's a map they can win, it's this one.
Well, alright then, we do see Hildreth getting very early with the loose cannon, also spamming over the shack, trying to connect any donks on the opposing team. But the Bustaz playing very passively. Now we do see initiation from Chris and a follow-up bomb from Poppy. They're getting on top of things. Mookie got behind but got taken down by Hems. Chris is going to get taken down here, and Hems once again picking up a second frag onto Hildreth. No Devilman on the side of Lowpander is going to be really huge for them. Ratslayer also follows up. Ubers and Funds, 2 for 1. Is going to be chasing down the scout from lower. We do see Crafty is not afraid to get in the face, and actually could potentially catch out Menti here.
It's a crit for Degu in the hands of Degu, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, this is the surprise factor I was talking about like 5 seconds ago. They want to go deep and quickly on them, and they can actually crit them. Maybe Pappy will take this trade. Ubers, the crit is used, he gets 1 shot, but Menti gets it right just in time and completely annihilates the play from Bustaz, and Degu dies to a nice one from Ubers. This could have been such decisive play in favor of Bustaz, but now they're just crumbling apart.
But Chris was able to make a very clutch last-minute bomb to hide out and catch the players who were distracted by the flash of the Uber, who was able to pick up Menti there. And that frag is going to at least open the door for some Uber advantage potential, especially with Degu getting the forward spawns and healing up his players. They might even walk their way in now, knowing they have no heals to worry about on the opposing team. A big bomb comes in from Ubers, but he's taking a lot of chip damage from that scout, and Mookie tries to come in behind as well. Poppy taking a lot of damage here. They will be able to pick up onto Ubers here, but Mookie is still sitting up top and getting good damage off. Finally gets cleaned up by Poppy, who gets retaliated by Mr. Epic. He's going on top of the players, and Fun's trying to speak forward a little bit too. And now the Devilman Ratslayer is in effect. He's walking onto the choke point, rather the point itself, and Funds is committing to a fight. going to be able to help take down Chris thanks to Hildreth, but really scrappy mid fight going on there, and we do see small advantage, not enough to push on, I don't think, and the mid cap denying both the scouts on Lowpander.
I think they should have tried this one, take the crown on green maybe. They have no scouts, so soldiers could have bombed in and tried to get something going. Yeah, I mean Chris and Pappy were dead, so that's probably why. I have to think a bit before I speak. And now this is going to be our first stalemate on this map.
Oh no.
Diego is back on Uber, so
yeah.
No surprise crits and...
hold up. There's no time limit on the server right now, and we're playing Snake Water.
Yeah. They're just gonna put the config, I assume. It's fine. And Mookie is making his way to the catwalk, but he's getting spammed by Chris, and he has to come back. And this situation, it's when it's 0-0, it's usually up to the team who has me to make something going on. So, but Pappy isn't on the banner yet, so maybe a sack play from Pappy will happen, so he can try to force Menti, and if he can't, he will go to the one of the banners. That's what I'm expecting right now, like following usual Bustaz game plan. But they're playing quite passive onto that house area, waiting maybe for the Lowpander to commit. But I'm not expecting Lowpander to make anything happen there. But as I said, Mookie is on Spy and he's going to go in the backlines very soon.
Just going to quickly change up, and now all the config is set back. The little bit of a stalemate has actually been a very gracious thing for this config to be fixed. But you see all the different configs have been set up. The win difference of 5. Time limit is back to normal. 26 minutes left on the clock. And we're seeing what can happen here. Mookie goes in, misses up, but still gets the frag onto Ratslayer. He decloaked practically in the face of Daegu and let his demo man die. And now we're going to be seeing aggression from the choke point. Players peeking forward, and Mookie is still a factor here. He's going to be jumping up, but the soldier is on top of it. He is able to get that frag thanks to Crafty. And now we do see a little bit of a committing here. Could catch out Ubers here, but no, they don't juggle it. Not very good initiation there, and he's doubling back onto the medic, getting good damage, but nice initiation from the team to take down Ubers before he can get that final rocket. And we're going to be seeing a repush here with their 2-man advantage, no soldiers.
That's so unfortunate. If Hildreth had went a bit forward and helped Ubers, he could have cleaned up all the frags, because like the Ubers rocket were really good and he had a lot of damage onto the combo. So unfortunately there that Hildreth didn't follow up, maybe a miscommunication going on here, and the Menti fall is really weak and he dies to a bomb from Chris. Really nice play from the roamer, and this game could go in, this round could go in favor of Bustaz if they played correctly. Daegu is still alive, and they only have to play around their medic now to take that point and wait for Uber.
Yeah, they're taking the point right now and probably opting to go lower with their Uber advantage. They're trying to clear some stickies here. They do spot them out and make their way forward. They're opting to go up the ramp towards Shutter.
Funds has a gun on the left side while Mr. Epic is playing sniper on the right side. The Uber is finally used onto Crafty and Ratslayer. They're going for the sentry right away, taking it, and Pappy dives to Mookie on the drop down area. Mookie finally dies, but the job is done, and Mr. Epic, nice headshot onto the demo man. That's a really crucial pick for Lowpander now. All they have to do is make this push last forever, and they finally clean up the frags. Chris dies as well. This is really dire now for the Bustaz. They have to come back, they have to give up on that second point. Really nice hold for Lowpander once again. They got the first frag onto Pappy. It wasn't Ubered, and then they only slowballed into that really nice push out.
Yeah, that was a good initiative from the rest of Lowpander to take down whatever players weren't part of that Uber, and as a result we're going to be seeing a full Uber ad coming in through Saw. They're not even going to have to pop around the corner, they're just pushing their players forward. Uber's now getting on top of Chris, who might even get taken down here. So low on health, does manage to escape through the Saw room. And now we do see Uber is almost ready for Daegu. They're getting healed up. A lot of players low on health, but looks like we're going to be seeing that reset once again. But a lot of aggression in Saw. We might see a push here.
Yeah, Uber is trying to tank the heals onto that Saw room, but nothing can happen there. Nice spam from Chris and Pappy, but Mookie tried to dive in and to go onto Daegu, but he can't connect the rockets and he finally dies. But do you really want to kill Mookie? Do you really want to allow him to go off class? I don't know about that. Maybe you should just drop your med and let Mookie live. So what's gonna happen there? Crafty went back to spawn right as Mookie died to go for sniper, and so did Mookie when he respawned. He went sniper as well. So this is gonna be a sniper duel there, and nothing is gonna happen until one of the Sniper get a cool shot going.
We do see Crafty lined up with a nice angle inside of lower, peeking around the shack. Mookie lined up and saw with the Machina, no less, so he can get some penetration here.
Penetration.
Does have it charged up. He doesn't quite have the angle. He might peek right into the sight line of Crafty, who's ready for it. And there's the shot. Fully charged body shot will be able to take him down. And now we will be seeing retaliation, maybe.
Yeah, so Crafty is gonna get the heals on the left, I assume, and try to go peek from green. That's the standard play. He's gonna try to get someone unaware of his position, but yeah, Menti is playing behind the house. Mr. Happy got body shot, but he's still alive, and I'm expecting Crafty to get pressured anytime soon. Look at Franz trying to go in the kitchen. He's trying to go for the flank play. Crafty falls really weak, but nice play from Franz, just pushing back all the Chuck Busters to their second point. And where's Mookie? Mookie is back on Soldier, so maybe a bomb is going to happen now, because when you think about it, Crafty on Sniper means one scout less to deny the bombing Soldier.
Ooh, Ratzler with a very nice sticky trap, able to take down the Soldier Mookie, trying to make his way through the window. We're seeing Poppy getting to position through kitchen. I think the player saw him jump, and Fun's is going to be on top of him, getting good damage shots there. Mookie will be able to, or Poppy will be able to back out in time. Pick up the health back and rotate out. Ooh.
I felt like Chris beefed a lot, because he was just on Menti's face and he shot one rocket, but at the end of this fight, Menti was like 100 HP, so I felt like Chris beefed a bit, but now 2 frags in favor of the Lowpander, and even if Mookie dies, that's probably a good trade. Happy's trying to go for the L shot onto Hildreth, and that's how much respect I give to Hildreth. I mean, his team, they didn't even state for him and try to save him. They just went, Hildreth is gonna die? Hey, no big deal, we can play around that.
Now players getting into position here at mid. Chokebusters want to take this. Good initiation by Poppy over to the shack and the saw room, pulling the attention of Mookie back, and giving a little bit of a hot streak going in, as now he's able to jump in, get the force off, while Mookie was retreating for some health. Players are now rushing in lower. They are going to be able to catch out Crafty here, so 2 picks is good for them. But the Uber Dissat is what they need to be focusing on now, because Daegu can stay alive here if they back out, and then they got to be worrying about that Uber.
Yeah, securing the second point is really good for them, because it's really hard to push out from your last, even if you have Uber ads. Really nice play from Lowpander, just taking the edge on the number advantage they had. And it looks like Ubers is arrow building with Menti, so they're gonna get this Uber in time if Busters are trying to push out, and they're in the lobby. Maybe they're gonna try to go for it, but I think if they go now, they would be surprised that Menti will have his Uber in time.
Yeah, Daegu a little afraid to go in. Now he is making his way forward. They're getting some time on the point, but the Soldier Mookie was hiding on top of the health pack there, able to take down Ratslayer, 1-for-1 exchange. Daegu does force the Uber off, and we do see Menti backed up all the way at the yard, healing some players up. They're kind of getting ready to reinitiate here at any moment now. We do see nice bomb coming in from Chris, getting good damage onto Menti. That was actually enough to pull some players back, and Poppy's going to be able to clean up onto Hildreth and Menti and take his life as a result. Fun's also getting taken out by Chris. Crafty picking up Ubers and the cap as well. Mookie's really far forward now, trying to get as much as he can done while afraid of it. Mr. Epic's going to rush in through the window while that distraction play was happening, but he gets 2-shot by Hems. Absolutely no room for error there, and Mr. Epic is going to die. Mookie now backing up while the rest of his players just now respawn. There could be a contestation at the mid.
A really nice push shot from the Chuck Busters. Going out of the last, the way they did it was really well played. They didn't lose Daegu in the process, so now they have a sizable Uber advantage, and Mr. Epic is still dead. He's back on Scout. He's not playing Sniper on this one. He could have, trying to deny the Uber from Daegu, and looks like the Chuck Busters making their way onto the grass area, trying to get some ground before having to use the Uber, and they're getting spammed by Ubers and Mookie. And they're going kind of slowly, so maybe if Menti goes back on last now and builds the Uber, they will have it in time.
Yeah, Menti very close now. Uber's taking a lot of damage here over on the side. Is able to get out. No! Nice little pick from Crafty, but it's not that big of a deal because Ratslayer is actually getting taken down by Hildreth's trap, and now Menti has that Uber, but with no soldiers, this could be the potential to send in a sack and get that pick, and Ratslayer will be respawned by the time they get him in.
And Ubers is up now. It's 6 vs 6. The Ubers are the same. Pappy tried to bomb in, or was it? No, Chris tried to bomb in. He didn't get anything done. He gets cleaned up by Mookie. I'm expecting him to come back on Sniper. We saw him playing Sniper on on product, so maybe that's the option now to break the stalemate. And looks like Mr. Epic is ready for that because he's on the sniper rifle as well.
Yeah, he's moving forward there with Mookie, who's got that Conqueror equipped. Ubers is now also below with the battalion's backup, just playing carefully. He's not going to be rushing in. They're playing their banner game. They want to build up their banners and then find opportunities to push before or after an Uber with these banners.
Did Pappy went back to spawn as well? Yeah. Pappy is on Baton's backup as well, so yeah, this is pretty much what we talked about, Crow. We're really clever people. We foreseen that banner duel, so it's gonna happen. And I'm pretty
it's
sure
like
this is gonna be, yeah, we are psychic. And this will be interesting to see how they play that. Chris gets a nice pick onto Ferns, maybe giving the it's Ratsley with a follow-up onto Ubers. Maybe that's enough for them to push in. They're trying to go in with Uber is being used on Pappy. He's trying to go for Menti and the Uber is finally used back. But Ratslayer dies to Mr. Epic. That's really bad for the Bustaz now. They needed that demo man, but did they? They're trying to bust on the left side, honoring their team name, but they're getting cleaned up by Funds again. That guy is on fire tonight, and yeah, kind of a questionable play there from the Bustaz.
Yeah, I mean, they had the numbers advantage and then just didn't get a favorable exchange. And once again, that disconnect from the rest of their team allowed Lowpander to get those frags and then push their way out with the follow-up. And now Chris also very late on that respawn. We're going to be seeing potentially a drive push here through one of the areas. No, the soldiers are just getting primed and ready. Mookie is, or sorry, excuse me, Ubers is currently rocking the gunboat, so he's ready to get in if they need to.
And Mookie is still with his conch, so I don't know. Arrow building is going onto Dutch Bustaz side. They have Uber now, and the Pappy is probably gonna try to build up his battalion's backup before they try to do any kind of trade. I wonder what he's trying to achieve there, going on the green, because this is not where you can get some spam going on. So this is not where he's gonna build his banner up. So I don't really know what he's doing there.
Yeah, kind of a bit of a spam war here going on. Both players have Uber. Chris playing in the window, a lot of players in lower. This actually opens up Saw for a lot of potential here. Chris is going to go for the bomb now. Gets a little bit of damage on to Funds, but they do get the better of him. And now the rest of the Bustaz have retreated to their shack.
And Mookie blown his conch, and he did it really far back into the lobby, so maybe Dutch Bustaz, they didn't hurt him using it, and he's going in really deep onto Degu, gets one clean rocket onto Meta, gets Hams as well with the surf onto the rocket from Pappy, so nice play from Mookie getting the force on the Uber and one peak. I'm not really sure Dutch Bustaz heard him blowing his banner, so really nice play, nice use of the game mechanics there from Mookie, and this should be a free mid for Lowpander. They're going super deep while Dutch Bustaz already gave up. They have given up on this one, and Mookie trades with Pappy really deep in the backline. What was he doing there? Maybe trying to get rid of his conch now that the job is done.
Yeah, players now working their way in through cheese. Ubers is clearing the way, but Hems inside of the forward spawn is able to get the shot on Mr. Epic while he was walking in through lower. He's trying to get another shot onto the choke or the cap point here. He's healthy enough to do it. He's got a fully charged shot almost onto Hildreth. Waiting for it now. He's probably going to go for the back spawn here. So that actually slowed down a little bit for Daegu to potentially get Uber here.
Yeah, he's rebuilding with Pappy in spawn, so they will probably get this in time because Lowpander was really slow on this push, and yeah, it looks like they're aware of it. Mr. Epic is on sniper. They're going to play it slow. It's still actually 0-0 after 17 minutes of gaming, so nice from Dutch Bustaz from holding onto their point so far. I wasn't really expecting that. Ems is playing heavy. This is going to be a heavy defense with Chris on sniper on the right side. They're just going to wait for Lowpander to try to make something happen. And Lowpander are probably going to make their move onto the lobby now.
Yeah, they're clearing things out, looking for traps, any hidden players potentially. Mr. Epic's going to be charging up a shot, but Chris is waiting for him. I do think fortune favors the first one to wait, but no, he actually takes a shot onto the soldier. Nice little bait there by Ubers, and then Epic was able to walk forward, take the shot, and take him out. No sniper to worry about, and Hemstram might even potentially get shot here if they get the opening here. Menti is forced off, and Poppy is chasing very aggressively here. Getting good damage off, but is not able to grab anyone. Uber's really far behind, gonna get taken down here. And a follow-up on from Mookie is gonna get some good damage onto Poppy as well as Crafty. Both those players down now is gonna open the door, but no! Chris and Hems are gonna pick up frags of their own. Epic also gonna be picking off Chris. And a Heavy is rushing forward with shotgun, trying to get in there.
Mon hit some crazy headshot there. I think he headshot Pappy while he was jumping back into spawn, and that almost opened things up for Lowpander, but eventually the hold was good enough for the Bustaz. This is gonna be another reset. Chris is on Spy, but I'm assuming he's just checking for off classes in spawn, or is he? No, he's trying to go for a play actually. They don't want to sit on their last forever. They know that Mr. Epic is on sniper, so maybe they will try to take advantage of that in some way. But Fun spammed, and is he aware of that? Maybe he's just aware of Chris on Spy because he was just shooting under with for no reason. And I heard a headshot from Mr. Epic getting Pappy really weak, and he gets Rat Slayer as well. Nice play from Mr. Epic. And Chris, he got the medic. He dropped 20, but Lowpander doesn't care. They're just going in, even though Degu had the charge. And Uber's finally used onto Ems on his own because Ildred got crafty in the process of that push. Really nice salvation play there. And staying in for some reason. Ems gets cleaned up by a body shot from Mr. Epic. And what is this fight? It's just going on forever. Ildred can get cleaned up. He gets the 5-1 to Pappy. Nice play from Ildred. And Lowpander are still pushing on that last with Mookie getting fragged down. This is finally it. Lowpander are going back onto their second. And they're gonna build that Uber, but that play from Chris just saved Dutch Bustaz there. That backstab onto Minty was what they needed to hold on this last.
Yeah, he really made a good decision there. He had the opening onto Hildreth, but decided to walk in through the lobby, and in front of the face of Hildreth, he was able to walk forward and get that stab, completely catching the enemy team unaware. Funds is going to rush forward and grab a pick onto Chris here, just wrapping around the corner. Can't even get cleaned up because everyone else on the side of the show Bustaz is playing so far back, so passively. They're actually going to be forcing the Uber off first here, chasing down here. Menti doesn't even have it, but he will have it very shortly now. They need to get some players in here. Uber's getting on top of Poppy. The flash does come in, and he's going to be jumping back into the point. It's a little bit of chip damage onto Craft, but there's so much free space on the point. They shouldn't be flashing. They could have actually gotten the cap there, but the Uber denied it, and now Chris is going to get the frag onto Menti here. Following closely is Hems, who's going to be able to get a little help onto Ubers, and now, once again, they defended, and they have their medic alive still.
And Degu arrowing this player like a madman. He just saved Hems like 2 or 3 times with the arrows, and he somehow arrow built there, so they have 60% ad now. They can try to push out of this, but Mookie is on Spy, and they still have Mr. Epic onto the sniper, and look like they're going back. I don't know, that's weird. Yeah, they tried to push out earlier with the same Uber, so now they're trying to go for it with the Uber ad, but Mookie's on the back line on Spy. Is he gonna get something done? Ildred cleans Pappy with the sticky trap, and Ratslayer tried to bomb onto Menti. Menti completely caught out of position, and it gets cleaned up by... And what I say that, triple backcap going on by Uber, Spawns, and Mookie. How did they got so far?
Well, what happened there was, we have poor Chris all alone on last. He's sitting on the point, he's ready for anything. He sees a Spy, and Funds and the other soldier managed to get in. One soldier through lobby, Funds through lower, and that is due to the fact that poor Bustaz pushed in through battlements. Almost all of them.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
So
and Mookie's on heavy on this mid. I'm expecting them to play really... Yeah, look at Ubers, he's playing really passive, close to his kitchen, waiting for Mookie to go in. Pappy got cleaned up by Mr. Epic and Fonz, and now with Mookie setting up on point, fully buffed, this is going to be really hard for the Bustaz. They got the read on this, and with Chris dead as well, everyone else is backing out onto the top left, maybe trying to get a fight going. And Lowpander is pushing on green with the heavy. They want to take the space, as much space as they can.
Yeah, the point is, it's such a threat. They're so afraid of it because they don't have any real initiation onto a heavy, surrounded by a ton of players. It's too healthy, it's really hard to focus fire, and it's just really opening the way for Lowpander to take all the space they wanted, really uncontested. But he gets taken down, very good job there with the shotgun. bringing things back, real old school. No more, you know, Concord battalions back up. We got the classic shotgun. Probably aware of the heavy coming in, he decides to switch to that, and as a result, he does get that frag. But Chris might get caught out here by Fonz, who's rushing forward, and a follow bomb from Ubers is going to get some good damage through the lobby. I think Poppy wants to initiate here. He's putting so much aggression around the choke, but they're going to be backing up. They're playing passively. They're too afraid.
Well, losing one round to a repush maybe taught them a lesson. I mean, 7 minutes is still quite a long time. They still have time, and it's not over yet. They're only one run down, so maybe it's not a good idea to risk everything now. So yeah, I understand that play. And Ems is on spy, but he's only just checking for classes. Yeah, looks like he is. So it's gonna be a cookie cutter hold for the Bustaz against the sniper from Mr. Epic.
A lot of players getting into position now in the lobby. Trying to open the door for Ubers, I think, giving him a buff. Ubers peeking around the corner, trying to get some damage on the soldier in the fence. Ubers is peeking very close. Epic now getting a shot off, can't connect it. And that's going to scare some players off as big damage is on Poppy. He's waiting for an arrow. He does get splashed with some health there, but a follow-up onto Chris might be able to take him out here. Good initiation from Mookie. He's going to get taken down here, but that was definitely a good thing because it's definitely easier to win a 5v5 when pushing into last than a 6v6.
So look at this. There's no one watching the drop down now onto Bustaz, but Lowpander, they don't want to take this fight. They're winning 1-0. They're okay with parking the bus if they have to, so they're not trying to make anything happen there. And they're just standing outside waiting for Mookie before going back onto that lobby area. And Chris, again, on spy. I think it's the third time now that he's went spy, so I'm expecting Menti to be a bit more aware this time and hopefully not getting fragged by it. Because if Menti dies there, this is going to be a window of opportunity to push back for the Bustaz.
Mr. Epic, though, peeking through the drop down, able to get a shot on Crafty. Chris being on that spy is going to be a detriment to them because he's not able to get the frag, and he's getting on top of Menti, trying to pistol him down with the revolver. So much damage, one little swipe was all it was take, but no, 35 HP, and a follow-up from the Demo Man. Ratslayer is going to be able to exchange with Ratslayer.
Ooh,
no before stop, and the market garter from Mookie is able to take him down. Hems was only able to... The shots are so strong! Epic, you're too good! He's able to get a second headshot there, and it's just one player alive. Who's going to clean that up, and that's going to be the round 2. Lowpander with just a collapse, an incredible cascade of frags, one after another.
Yeah, the fact that Chris was on spy there hurt Dutch Bustaz so much because they didn't have a soldier to delay the push from Lowpander, and then craziness went into action with the market gardener from Mookie and the crazy headshots from Mr. Epic, and this is the third mid of this game.
We don't see Mookie on heavy. They're going to be playing it a little bit more differently, probably scaring off the rest of the Bustaz, and Mookie's going to get taken out early though, so that could rally a push, and then Crafty picking up a second onto Mr. Epic, but Fun's wrapped behind, able to pick up onto 2 players now. He's working around, he's on top of the medic, finally gets cleaned up by Hems here, who's getting chased down by Hildreth, and it's just a soldier and a scout versus a soldier and a demo. Hildreth is really close to, not sure where he wants to go. They decide to back out. Lowpander will be backing up to second, and the Bustaz take their mid.
That was kind of mid they needed. They probably needed a slightly more dominant mid, but at least they got the central point now and they can try to make something happen. They have to. There's only 4 minutes remaining, so they have to take some good trades and get around really quickly on the scoreboard. And because if they don't, this is going to be over. I'm talking from experience, and they have to go like now.
And players are getting to various positions here defensively. Mookie backed all the way to lower, almost goes unnoticed, but the rest of the players, while the super exchange is happening in the saw room, we're waiting on mid, and Dagu's going to get taken out. Couldn't quite escape, and Ubers is going to grab that frag, as well as Pappy. Hems goes down to Funds, and it's a Demo Man Ratslayer able to get the pipe onto Mr. Epic, and Chris is rushing in, getting good damage off, but no one else is able to follow up. It's just Crafty trying to rush in. Can't quite do it though. He's juking pretty well, but the Hildreth Sticky will end that, and that's a full wipe. Only 2 players in the respawn. They will get one more spawn wave, but I don't know if the Demo Man and Soldiers and Scout will get in there.
And Mickey is in. He's trying to go. What? Mickey? Okay, what? Okay. I think we've officially entered garbage time with that play. What happened there? That was crazy play from Mookie, and This is probably the nail in the coffin for the Bustaz.
Yeah, they're having a good laugh about it though. They all laughed in chat. Fun's now working on his third kill, maybe getting a fourth one here if he falls off on the Rat Slayer. So much damage. The pipe from Hildred will be able to take him down. And they will be owning the second point. They don't have that much of an ad though. Chris with the headshot onto Mookie is going to be a great slowing of the pace here, but with only 2 minutes left, it's very hard for them to push forward. They need to get the better of this Uber exchange here, and if the Surf comes in, he doesn't even have it. Daegu was so close, he wasn't building it up just enough, but the rest of the players have respawned, and they're getting good damage off. Mr. F is the only player alive now. He's walking forward. Funz is doing so much work too. He was able to pick up onto Chris. The heals are so strong on Mr. Epic. He's going to be actually making his way out lower. But the rest of the players are rushing forward, and Mookie might not be able to save his medic here. Does get the shot onto Crafty, able to take down both the scouts, and now the cap is going in. It's so strong from Mr. Epic. He just walks to the point, beats Rat Slayer down, and we're at 2 minutes left with 3 rounds up. Lowpander take it with a clean 6 points from this set.
Dutch Bustaz, they were in for so long, and then a sloppy push out of their last, and then the crumble happened. That's kind of unfortunate when you're getting punished for trying to play aggressively, but that's how Prem is nowadays. So yeah, it's really kind of hard to blame them for that. But in the end, I mean they held pretty well. But I mean Lowpander was and still is the better team now. Nuki is playing sniper on that middle. He gets the frag onto Daegu, is just getting clean, and he's 8k. Trying to maybe Chris on Cypher as well. This is such a DM fest right now, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Funz win this one, but it doesn't feel like it. Funz, what are you doing? Don't disappoint me, son.
Yeah, he wants to keep his precious kill-death ratio as high as possible. We do see Rat Slayer actually getting into position here. Could potentially sneak up on some players. A fully charged shot from Chris will be able to take out Menti. That's going to open the door for Rat Slayer, who's not really sure where to go. He's rotated behind. He does spot on Mr. Epic, but Chris is so committed too. It's not going to be enough to take him down. Nice damage is able to clean up Mr. Epic, but the cap is happening. Ubers is on the shack, doing some good damage, taking down the sentry gun from the gunslinger engineer of Daegu, the medic.
And he gets cleaned up by Mickey. Yeah, nothing to see anymore. You can leave. And that's a double 3-0 for Lowpander. 3 on product, 3 on Snakewater. Maybe they didn't know that wasn't a King of the Hill. I don't know. Oh, Chris gets a frag onto Menti. And yeah, this is it. Lowpander reacts quite well after their loss versus Lego. They get 6 points out of this. And yeah, the rough start of the season keeps on going for the Bustaz.
There we go. Lowpander take another victory, and the poor, abused choke Bustaz will continue to remain beatless. Alright, so I had it in my mind and then the garbage time distracted me. There was something I wanted to talk about, but I can't remember anymore. Oh, Lowpander. What I noticed was they had that kind of logarithmic gain of momentum. It was very slow at the start, very even, and as time progressed, they were just playing better. We saw that in Viaduct. The first 2 rounds were very close, and they practically swept the 3rd round under the rug. Going into this one, we had literally 20 minutes of playtime before their first round with the back cap, and then they just immediately took control. They won around very shortly afterwards and kept going. Do you think there's something to the way they play that happens, or is it just kind of there's no causation, no correlation there? It just happened.
I don't think there is, and like, let's be honest, Lowpander, they didn't have their best game of the season tonight. I think they played okay, but not amazingly, and I think it's just like the difference of skill between the two teams. Like Lowpander, they didn't have to do anything special to win this one, and we talked about product earlier. Well, I feel like the game plan from Dutch Bustaz changed after the first 2 rounds, and I think that was a mistake. And on this one, it's like they were on their last. Dutch Bustaz were on their last most of the time. They had a first repush that went well for them. Maybe that built some confidence, and that's why they tried to do the second one that led to their doom. So I don't feel like Lowpander kind of stepped up throughout the game. I felt like they just capitalized on Dutch Bustaz mistakes more than anything else.
All right. Anything you want to see in these stats right now? Something else to give us a little information behind this clean victory from Lowpander?
Well, Mr. Epic top damaging as a scout on a CP map that was kind of a stalemate, so that's pretty impressive, and I'm pretty sure that's thanks to his sniping abilities. Yeah, 10 minutes of sniping in 12 kills, 4K. That's pretty good for the Russian sniper. Other than that, I felt like kind of disappointed on Papi's game. I felt like he could have done a bit more. And look at Hildreth. We mentioned that he had the best ratio of Prem, but one of the lowest. He was one of the lowest dealing damage demo man, and this log just goes to show it. He goes 10 for 7, which is okay, but only 4K. He just had to sit back and watch his teammates do the work.
Yeah, very strong showing from Funds, Mr. Epic, Ubers, all doing some fantastic work on the side of damaging frags. So with that, I think there's nothing else really to talk about in the stats side of things. But we do have some players lined up in here. We have Daprest, Hildreth, and Crafty Dave. Daprest, what's your name?
I think it's Pappy.
Yeah. I don't know. It's still this from last time. I disconnected.
I'm depressed.
I'm surprisingly not too depressed after those games.
Yeah, I was saying, I felt like, let's talk about product first. Even if it's 3-0 on the scoreline, I felt like you guys, Bustaz, had kind of 2 good first rounds, and then you kind of collapsed on the third one. So, care to enlighten us about what happened on that third round?
I don't really remember the third round, like, too much what actually happened, but it's just when you start getting behind in the timer and you maybe get a bit sloppy and you let things get behind. Mookie was really doing a lot of work on Viaduct. We couldn't counter him at all, so that's the biggest problem, I think.
Yep.
Crafty confirms. Like, from what I've read from that game, I felt like on the first two rounds, you Papi led the Uber a lot. Like, you jumped onto Menti, forced him, and then you jumped in the back lines trying to get Mr. Epic, and you didn't do that at all on the third round. So was it like something?
Tried to. I just got headshot, and then I didn't want to wait for my spawn, so I just said, "Crafty, take the trade," and then play from there.
So just like circumstances, not a change of game plan.
Okay. I walked up cliff, and Mom was pre-aiming the angle or whatever you call it, and just domed me as I walked onto cliff and died. But yeah, the first 2 rounds, I think the trades are pretty good. I made people chase me a lot, so it worked okay.
And let's go to the second map. This one is for Hildreth. I think on paper, Hildreth, everyone was expecting you to win this one 5-0, and in the end, that was less of a dominant showing. But did you feel like? I felt like you were kind of in control in that game. Would you agree with that?
Well, it's Snakewater. It's such a slow map. So and well, there was a couple of moments where we could have slipped up. I think there was one where we lost a couple of picks in second, and I think you guys just came in and Ubered instead of trying to force us, which I think was a mistake. But that was probably like the only time I felt we were under pressure on last. But you know, all it takes sometimes in Snakewater is just one mistake, and you could be rolled into and losing a round from your second. So you know, when it's 0-0, it's always uncertain. Like Chris could have just jumped in and dropped our medic. You never know. It can happen. But once we got ahead in the game, once we got ahead in the game, we were in control. Felt confident. Never could lose.
Yeah, Crafty. You loved the first round out of the failed repush from your last, but earlier in the game you managed to push out of your last, which was kind of impressive because Snakewater is really hard last to push from. So was that first successful push out? Did you just build confidence in, like, you thought you could do it again and then you got punished? What happened there?
Well, it's something like you really focus on in scrims because obviously it's like really hard to get right. So it's something we practice and we're pretty confident we can pull it off. So we just have our set push that we try. It didn't work out the second
I
time.
may have spent that entire one on the flank with a sticky trap on cheese instead of it in a normal position.
Maybe that was why.
I was trying to be too clever.
Not all strats.
Too much IQ.
Yeah, I don't know what happened on the second one, but yeah, one thing goes wrong and then it's a failed
I dodged
push
a
usually.
trap, and then
Oh,
people got behind, and
Yeah,
then
that's
Chris
it.
was fighting like a 1v10 on last. He got backcapped. It's pretty bad.
So in the end, Truck Bustaz, you're still sitting at the bottom of the league with 0 points, but again, you had like one of the maybe the hardest start of a season a team could have. So what do you think your chances are now that you're going to play maybe more entrenched teams? What do you think you can? Do you think you can like bounce back and win some points?
I doubt it.
I believe in our team. I think we'll break Nanya's record of 5. So we need to win 2 maps. I'm sure we can do it.
That's something to strive for. It's
I don't
very
know.
admirable.
I feel like this Nanya team's better than the last iterations.
Yeah, we haven't really been rolled, slightly by Lego, but I feel like we can actually like play the top teams and stand a chance.
Just
rather
less
than just
happy solo
dying.
Ubers and more force plays and easy win.
I
There
don't
you
know.
go.
Like, I think the trade was fine. It's just Bunny got headshot on the door. Like, because we got the force, we traded, and I wanted to rotate and push, but our demo died to a sniper. So if our demo lives and we repush and it's a 6v4, we could probably win.
But then you
Even though
10
you got
seconds
spawners coming in.
until spawns, and we knew we were doing that. So we
I
were ready
guess.
for you. The Pappy Uber.
I just wanna be Banny, you know. Just wanna be trading.
Fair enough. That was too harsh on you. It wasn't that bad. You had a good solo trade where you were on
It's
last.
just every time
When we tried to push right, left, you had a good trade.
Oh yeah, I did. I don't know, that map's really hard. It feels like when you're holding, everyone can just walk in through right side for free. Like, even if you have a soldier close, he's going to get pressured. If you put stickies above, they know, they just clear him. And then they just walk in with a sniper, and you have to walk forward in solo. Like, I don't know, I don't really like it.
I have to ask, Chuck Bustaz, your next game is versus Nunya. Is there some story going on in that game? If there's one game to win, is it this one?
I don't know, yeah, I guess. We're playing Condog, it'll be funny.
Yeah, it's a pretty big rivalry. Biggest game of the season right here.
He does drop a lot of Ubers.
The Nunya Derby.
Yeah, they're pretty good though, so it'll be close, I think.
And last question for me, Ildrith, you've played pretty much every top team so far, and only Swift is missing on your record, I guess. Any thoughts on how the end of your season will go before playoffs?
Depends on if we're motivated to play.
Are you gonna pull off the 7 and stop playing because no money?
Yeah, that's the entire reason we play this league. The prizes. I don't know. It's well, we haven't practiced much this week because Martin's been away. But yeah, by the end of the season, I think we'll be confident to beat anybody. All the teams, Lego and Swift, are the better teams in the league.
You reckon so?
Yeah.
Interesting.
What do you want me to say? Top 5?
No. That was, no. Top 5 doesn't exist anymore. I don't know. It's interesting to see how other how teams sees each other.
I think 90% of the people will agree. Pappy, do you agree with
There's
me?
a top 3 and a bottom 5, or what are you getting at?
Lego and Swift are the best teams in the league, not including ourselves.
Well, yeah, I'd say it's like you, Lego, Swift. Top 5 on their day are pretty good. Sorry, Ascent EU on their day are pretty good.
It's once a month, but yeah, we have one good day. Hopefully, it's on the official.
I think the 3 playoff spots are going to be us, Lego and Swift, and the 4th one's up for grabs, really.
It just depends who wins against like, what am I trying to say? Like, when you play the bottom teams, who wins out of the bottom, if that makes sense? We'll make the
who wins the bottom league?
Yeah, exactly. We'll make the playoffs and then probably get owned in playoffs.
Who wins
Actually, I don't
Manchester
know, like,
United?
Swift kind of, I'm not sure, like, they obviously have probably the best mechanical players, but, like, they have really close scorelines with everyone, and it's kind of confusing.
The Seveners were the same, like, some seasons they, like, scrape wins, sometimes they roll,
Did they?
sometimes they scrape wins, but they still win. It's just about winning at the end of the day.
Yeah, I guess.
They can't play well in every game.
Yeah, sure.
If you are playing well in every game, you're taking the game far too seriously.
And saying that, Swift is the only team who managed to win 6-0 and all of their officials, so yeah.
Even really?
Yeah.
They're the only team? Wow, okay.
I think they're also,
I take it back.
they haven't played us or Lego yet.
Yeah, that's true as well, but
so,
you're right.
So they've only played the bottom five teams.
And playing these bottom 5 teams, they had some close scorelines. So yeah, again, I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I feel like this season is again really stacked and pretty much everyone can take points from anyone.
Yeah, that's true. Probably.
So you're right I think your read on the situation is pretty right, Hildreth, as the first 3 playoff spots are already set between you, Lego, and Swift, but anyone out of the 4 remaining teams can get into the playoffs. Ro, I felt like I monopolized the question there. Do you have anything to add?
I never do. This is not my country.
I guess this is time for shoutouts, and we'll go for the first one, Appressed, as known as Pappy.
Shout out to Early, Spo, all the people I pug with, Pred, my team for playing well. There you go.
Hildreth.
Shout out to Snakewater for keeping me enthusiastic about the game, and shout out to Komori.
Crafty.
Shout out to my team. Shout out to Fellowship.
Okay, that was a short one. Ro, do you have any shoutouts as well?
Shoutouts to any Americans who watch this.
Okay, well, someone has to say it. So shout out to the people of TFTV pulling off stream and cast. So shout out to TurboTabs, who's managing everything. Shout out to Gemm on production as usual. Shout out to Ro, casting with me from across the Atlantic Ocean. And follow TFTV on social medias, Twitter and all that stuff. Follow me on Twitter, @Ombrack. Really cool stuff going every day. And thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week for another exhilarating game of Premiership TF2. And yeah, see you next week. See you guys.